My little boogers, family of reason, gather around. Because for once in this crazy, wild, crime filled, load shedding, pothole popping South Africa, we little noodles actually won something. No, scratch that actually. We won many things. And I'm not talking about free chicken from Nando's this time. First things first, the Springboks, the pride of this country, went into battle against the All Blacks. The dreaded New Zealanders who are rubbing their win in our faces all week. The boogeymen of world rugby. These guys aren't just a team, they're a cult. They do their magic dance, they stomp on the field, and then they've been haunting us for decades. But this weekend, we killed them like the World Cup final. I'm talking Thanos killing Loki in Infinity War level killing. No mercy, no sympathy, just pure domination. If this was a movie, the All Blacks would have been begging for a sequel. But nah, too bad the credits rolled right there. Because we won the rugby championship. South Africa stood tall and New Zealand stayed at home crying into their black jerseys. The worst loss they've suffered in Wellington history. And then Orlando Pirates. If you thought the All Blacks beating was brutal, you should have seen what Orlando Pirates did to Stellenbosch. They killed Stellenbosch like they owed them money. It's almost like Stellenbosch owed some guy in Soweto and then that guy sent Orlando Pirates to go and collect. You know, every time Orlando Pirates was scoring a goal, it was like, yeah, where's my money? Not only did Stellenbosch just lose, they got embarrassed. And then there's our women's rugby team. The Springbok women. Well, let's just say we tried, all right? We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Can you stop thinking about that? Don't think about that. We don't talk about that. Okay, now let's move from this topic because I don't want any heat on Twitter today. But that's not the only win. South Africa got hit with a brand new TV event, the Thabo Bester documentary. Sound familiar? Because let me tell you, this is not your average docu. This is not about some boring politician stealing money or another ESCOM breakdown. This is a documentary that the man himself, Thabo Bester, fought so hard to keep hidden, which makes it even juicier. But before we dive into why he wanted it gone, I need to tell you about my man, the myth, the nightmare. Because for those of you living under a rock, or maybe just wisely staying off Twitter, Thabo Bester is known as the Facebook rapist. Not the best of names you can give someone, huh? He's also a murderer. He's not just your average criminal. He's basically South Africa's version of Ted Bundy. Charming, manipulative, smart enough to make people trust him, but evil enough to ruin their lives. Bester would lure women through social media, promising them modeling gigs, opportunities, the glitz and glam of fame, only for them to meet their worst nightmare ever. He raped, killed, and he left destruction behind him. He was caught, sentenced, and jailed. End of story. Wrong! Because Thabo Bester wasn't done. You see, in 2022, South Africa was hit with one of the wildest scandals in recent memory. Because out of nowhere, it was revealed that Thabo Bester, supposedly locked up tight in Mankwang prison, had escaped. How? Well, brace yourself. This man faked his own death. Let me repeat that. He faked his death inside prison. There was a fire in his cell, and a charred body was found, and everyone assumed, okay, Bester is dead. But no, that was someone else's body. The dude who Houdini'd his way out of a maximum security prison in South Africa. You know how crazy that is? People can't even sneak chicken into Sun City prison. But this guy smuggled himself out of life imprisonment. And he didn't just escape alone. He had help. His girlfriend, Dr. Nandipa Makundumana, a celebrity doctor, someone living a life of glam and luxury, was part of the escape plan. Together they were on the run because she did anything for love. They became South Africa's Bonnie and Clyde, but way more insane. Eventually they were caught in Tanzania, living it up with fake passports, fake names, like some B-grade Netflix movie. Today, Bester is back behind bars, facing charges not only for his original crimes, but also for his Houdini-level escape and the chaos it caused. He's in court, and trust me, every appearance feels like an episode of some twisted soap opera you just can't get enough of. Now, you may be wondering, why make a documentary about this guy? Isn't that just giving him fame? Here's the thing. South Africa loves drama. And Thabo Bester's story isn't just drama. It's a reflection of how broken our system is. A maximum security prison couldn't hold him. Politicians scrambled for answers, and when he got caught, he looked at the cameras smiling like he was about to drop a mixtape. He was smiling like Jeffrey Epstein's mugshot. His early days scamming women online, how he manipulated people with charm, the gruesome details of his crimes, his death and escape, the Nandipa love story gone wrong. These are the stories that will be in the documentary. And the shocking incompetence of our correctional services. I can't wait to see that one. This is the kind of documentary you watch with your hand on your forehead like, yo, South Africa is finished. Now, here's where things get spicier though. This is where things get wicked. Why did Bester not want to do this documentary? Because it exposes him. Simple. Criminals like Bester live off control. They want to dictate the narrative. They want to choose what you see, what you hear, and how you remember them. But a documentary, that's out of his hands. That's raw truth being packaged for the world to see. And there's more. The docu doesn't just expose Bester. It exposes the system that allowed him to thrive. The corrupt officials, the loopholes in prisons, the powerful people who may have looked the other way on purpose. Secrets. Things that certain people in government don't want us to know. That's why he wanted it gone so bad. Because once the people see it, they cannot unsee it. Now think about this for a second. South Africa in one weekend managed to kill the All Blacks, embarrass Stellenbosch FC, drop a controversial documentary, and still have enough time for Orlando Pirates fans to celebrate like it's December. We little buggers actually have something to smile about, am I right? But here's the reality. The documentaries like the Thabo Bester one are not just about entertainment. They're about waking up. Because the truth is, if he could escape, how many others could? If he could manipulate doctors, officials, even security guards, how many others are being manipulated right now? This is South Africa. We laugh, we cheer, we celebrate victories. But beneath all that, you know and I know that we all live in a country where monsters like Bester exist. And sometimes they walk free. And listen, if Thabo Bester can escape a whole maximum security prison, you can definitely escape your lease or move to a new place without the drama. That's why today's video is brought to you by none other than Legend Furniture Removals. Because these guys don't do fake deaths. They don't burn cells. They move your furniture safely, professionally, and on time. Office equipment and so forth. Family-owned company, and unlike Bester, they will not leave you stranded. Legend Furniture Removals, the only escape plan you will ever actually need. I have their website in my description below. So yeah, South Africa had a crazy week. We won on the field, we won on the pitch, and we even won by forcing Bester's secrets into the light. The All Blacks are crying, Stellenbosch FC is recovering, Bester is back in prison, and we, the people, at least for once, get to stand tall. Let's not waste it, let's learn from it, and let's keep winning. This is the Sambit, and like always, I'll see you next time.